Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Shooting the Shift. This week, we're going to talk about a few things. But first of all, I need to apologise to Milton. In the last episode, we said we were going to give away Milton's purse, and he didn't send it to me. So I broke into his house and stole his purse.
I wondered why it was messy.
So this magical Hello Kitty purse, right, that Milton has accidentally donated to the cause after I burglarised him, that is going to go out to one lucky customer this month, starting from when we did the drop on the 30th. For anyone who spends over 40 quid, okay? If you spend over 40 quid on the website, you're in with a chance of winning Milton's lucky purse.
Can it be $39.99?
Okay.
No, because that's not over 40.
But we don't have 99p's. So if you manage to spend $39.99 on the website somehow, then I'll include you in the magical
Auto
drop.
win. If you spend $39.99, it's auto win.
If you're over 40, you get into the raffle, and we'll do a random number generator. And if anyone manages to spend $39.99, you do auto win this, and it'll just go out with your order. So there's the challenge, ladies and gentlemen.
Because you can order cool slaps like this.
You can order cool slaps like that, or you can order cool keyrings.
Yes. They're actually. I'm not saying this because it's sponsored or whatever. I'm actually really impressed with the quality of them. They're heavy. Don't feel like cheap Chinesium.
No, they are not cheap Chinesium. But yeah, so we've dreaded a new drop this month. Everything's been going cool. I've burglarised Milton so you can win a thing. Going to make that official on the Instagram as well tomorrow. Or rather on Saturday. The weird time vagaries of editing life, I guess. But what we're really going to talk about this week is my amazing magical journey into the land of fitting underglow to cars again. Because
it's coming back.
Because no, they're back. They're back. Also, on a side note, spinners are back. It's great. It's going to be 90s gangster rap all over again. Exhibit's going to be on the telly. I'm just going to get to relive my youth, but I've got the money to spend.
Well, is he going to roll in on a wheelchair?
Yeah, you say that, but Pimp My Ride is on YouTube again.
It is, but it's not got Exhibit. It's not Pimp My Ride until it's got Exhibit. So, yeah, Neons are back, and I've been having a journey. The first thing that's very difficult about trying to fit Neons to a Stagia is getting the sides the right length.
Yeah, because it's 8 miles long.
The second thing about fitting Neons to a Stagia is that kit then having cables long enough to run the car. So I bought a cheap set of Neons for 70 quid on the Amazon. Not gonna link them in the description because they lasted a grand total of 20 minutes on an actual drive before they managed to earth themselves on something and nearly start a fire inside my dash.
I bought mine from Amazon.
Yep.
I liked them so much I bought 3 sets. Definitely because I liked them so much, not because I'm a moron and didn't fit them right.
Oh, I thought it was just that you broke them driving.
Oh, no, it was that. The first time, I think, was I crushed them on the trailer before I got decent ramps. Loading it got crushed. Second set... I can't remember what happened in the second set, but third set I need to replace again because I decided to jack up off where they're mounted because drift car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And both of you are exactly why I'm doing my own. I'm DIYing a set.
So I think actually, I mean, I know what Matt's doing with the set. And he's not going to tell us too much, other than I'm going to give away actually road legal. Actually road legal.
I want and I should have them on for Yakushi.
Okay.
So if you want to come and see them in action, come and see me at Yakushi. And then the Monday after Yakushi, I'll let Bam put them on socials.
They're very, very cool. Matt is slightly more talented at coding than the rest of us here. I can
The short version is I'm using an Arduino and addressable LEDs.
Yeah.
Because you'll see this and with a lot of the modern sets. So we've moved away from neon tubes now, which is where you get the name from originally. Everybody's obviously LEDs. to a point now where you can get addressable LEDs, which is what you get in like your computer sets, PC,
So RGB,
bands and
bro.
stuff like RGB, that sort of thing. Yeah, because normal RGB, I'm just assuming nobody knows what these are at this point, so I'm just going to explain. RGB LEDs you can set to any color, but they're all the same color. Addressable LEDs, you can set individual LEDs to any color at any point, meaning that you can make them do patterns and stuff because you can do programming basically.
So, and that's the really important part, is the addressable part. So what I did put on was nice and bright. You know, it's good quality for an Amazon set.
I was impressed.
It was good.
I was really impressed.
It was really good. The issue was the cable was not protected at all. And actually, the way they do those cables on those cheaper kits, you couldn't actually use addressables in the way of having a flowing pattern around the car that you might want, because you've got 4 separate cables firing out. So I've resolved the problem in a more expensive way.
Typical BAM.
Yeah. I threw money at the problem, I think is what we did. So I got in touch with a company based in the States called Low Glow. And I've been having some conversations with the guys at UK Lighting Scene, who are a group of guys in automotive lighting that I happen to be part of. And everyone's put me onto this kit. I'm going to let you know how it goes. We've still got to fit the kit. It literally arrived about 3 hours before we started recording, so I've not had time to go out there, rip the old kit off and put it on. But everything's looking good. There is a switch there's a connector to put it straight onto my battery. There's then a switch to feed through the firewall to turn it off so it doesn't drain my battery. It's really important. There is a nice controller box that's app controlled. There is 2 outputs. So effectively you go into the front left and right of the car, and then from the back of those LED strips you have a cable that you fit over the top of your wheel arch or inside your wheel liner, and then you have your side runners, and then you go over the rear wheel arch and into your rear runners. And what that means with addressable LEDs is you can have a full flowing pattern. And the real thing that won me on Logo's kit was seeing neon pink and neon blue colours flowing around a car.
Well, they chase them.
Yeah.
The addressables, you can basically do any pattern you can think of with any colours you can think of.
And I remember
a lot of these kits, though, you'll find come with preset patterns and colours, so you don't get a great deal of control over them. Some of them come with like IR remote controls.
Yeah, that's what mine is.
Apps are quite common for them now.
Yeah,
as well.
it's got a Bluetooth app, but it's not the most responsive, and it's.
But like I say, a lot of them are preset patterns, and that's one of the reasons that I wanted to do it my way, because I can just. Because I'm going to use an Arduino, I can just plug a laptop into it, change the code, press send, and it changes it.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, if I had the time and the coding knowledge and the effort, I would probably build a hybrid between the Logo kit and what you're doing.
Yeah, I mean, once I've fully solidified how mine's working, we could potentially adapt yours. I haven't seen it, like you say, it only turned up 3 hours ago, so I've
had an idea.
What the setup is.
What? Are we having a neon off?
I want neons on my tow car and my trailer.
Done.
Yeah, I could do that. Yeah, I could absolutely do that.
I think actually it's really important to kind of, we keep saying neons, and as Matt said, they are. I used to run proper in the glass tube.
I had some.
Neon. I wasn't a. No, not for me.
I was literally
just
as they started falling out. So I must have got one of the last sets.
Which was actually the real problem with them when they fell out. Or you hit them on a speed bump and leaked toxic gas everywhere.
Yeah. I think mine weren't neons by definition. I think mine were...
LEDs in a tube.
They weren't LEDs because this was like 2008, 2009.
Yeah.
So they
was you driving then?
Yeah, I passed in 2009, I think it was.
I was still in school.
Anyway, before you start making us feel old, it was definitely a light tube, and it was plastic. I remember that. It wasn't glass.
Mine was originally my very first set were like a glass neon tube, like you'd find in a ceiling light. They were interesting, and then I think they moved on
where
to...
you turn them on and it flickers, and then it slowly gets
And then it
brighter.
slowly got brighter.
Yeah, that's real old school neons. And then they moved on to the tubes that Matt's talking about, like the reinforced polycarbonate, I think it was, to stop them
Something like that,
smashing. And then you had LEDs inside a tube, so you still had the same size tube, but LEDs running down it. And now you get the LED strips that you just fasten on with 3M tape.
And I think the LED tubes are a lot more versatile because you can cut them to length fairly straightforwardly. You can then run them the full length of your sill.
Yeah.
And because they're flexible, like you said, you could run some inside your wheel arches if you really wanted to.
Yeah, I mean, what's really interesting about what went on with Low Glow, and this is kind of part of the reason I was willing to spend the money, actually, and the money is 350 quid landed in the UK, just so people are aware. But
I will caveat that with you probably been landing with import fees and shipping
50
fees.
50 quid import fees. That's it. It's
That's
a
not too
300
bad.
quid kit. But actually, part of that is definitely down to the service that the guys gave me, and I'm happy to pay that.
Yeah, don't-
Like, how much what?
I was going to say, right, doesn't matter. It's fine.
Okay, we can ask the question at the end. The service the guys gave me. So I messaged them saying I need a kit. I showed them what my other kit was like. They saw the stage, yeah. They were really pumped. So I actually got a kit before the latest drop, which is today, 2 days ago. And they are, like, by all intents and purposes, check out their Instagram, make your own decisions. But from everything I've seen, they were enough to make me confidently spend 300 quid on a set of LEDs, which I think is quite impressive, really.
Yeah. That's almost a set of coilovers.
In your world, maybe.
Oh, no. It's about half. Oh, you can get the pair of front coilovers.
Yeah, I was about to say it's not even close in my world. But I think it's a really interesting thing that we're seeing some of the stuff from the Max Power era starting to creep back. You've got wide and Larry body kits have started to creep in. They're not as outrageous as they used to be. I've seen a couple of cars that have unironically got Lambo doors on them recently.
Yeah, I've noticed Lambo doors are starting to pop up again.
I've seen... What else have I seen? People are buying Larry valve caps. Can definitely confirm people are buying Larry valve caps.
How long before they're all stolen again?
I'm hoping like a week so that they buy more, if I'm honest.
Yeah, I was going to say it's better for you if they all get stolen.
We are
Also,
not going...
like-
I would like to clarify before anyone suggests that we are not endorsing anyone going around and stealing valve caps off people's cars either.
Also seen a lot of like audio builds now as well.
Yeah.
Got a
Yeah, people are
friend.
doing boot builds and stuff, but now
Yeah,
people are combining air ride and compressors and tanks and stuff within the boot and then putting the audio around it.
Yeah, bass
Yeah, I've got a
racing. Bass racing never really went away, but it just became excessive.
But now it's because of technology's come so far. Before you'd need to have a sub that was this big and get 50 dB, for example. Now you can get one that's this big and get 50 dB.
It's one of those things that never went away because there's always been sound off competitions, but they were like the proper hardcore vibrate your van to bits kind of thing.
Yeah.
It dropped out of mainstream, but it's coming back into the mainstream stuff. So you go to an average car show and probably see it.
Yeah, well, my friend Tia, she managed to smash a windscreen in her Fiesta that she built, and I think she's 153 dB now.
That's a lot.
It's
That's insane.
That feels unnecessary.
Bear in mind, most
Still cool.
race tracks have a noise limit on track days of about 95.
95, 98,
Yeah.
or
But also, decibels aren't linear. So if you've got 95 dB, 96 is double 95.
So that also is that is louder than a jet plane.
yes,
Jet planes are what? 120?
120 to 140.
yeah.
That's a big number. That's actually really impressive. So yeah, well played.
I'm not surprised she smashed a windscreen, but yeah.
Yeah, I can
You
see
it
why
goes
that's
vroom.
gone. I can absolutely see why that's gone. I think there's other bits and bobs that are like I used to love spinners, partly because I could never really work out how they were working. You know.
My theory about all of this is all three of us grew up as like teenagers and that sort of age, looking at all these max power cars.
And Need for Speed
Now we're
Underground
at an
2.
age we can afford to own a car and modify it. So we're doing all the stuff that we think is cool, regardless of what everybody else thinks. And then everybody else is going, yeah, I want to do that too.
Yeah,
and
Matt,
everybody's doing it.
Matt makes a really good point there, actually. There was this thing persisting in the car scene for quite a while, that everything had to be the same.
So it had to be air ride and financed.
Air ride 3-piece wheels.
I
OEM
remember
plus.
we went through the max power. Then we had a big era of OEM or nothing.
Yep.
It was all OEM. Then everyone went to air and wheels. And now we're circled all the way back to max power. Because I think everybody was fed up of we had this big period of being judged if you didn't have air and wheels or you weren't OEM. And like, I don't care. I'm just going to do whatever I like.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I never stopped doing what I wanted. Hence the hijet build and stuff like that.
So some of us did carry on doing whatever we wanted to. But I think as a whole, the consensus is just do whatever you want.
Yeah.
What makes you happy?
Do you know what else is I've seen coming back? I've seen someone in the UK's done it. And now in America they're doing it, is aero discs.
Yeah.
So wheel covers. So you still get to have your wheels that fit whatever, but then you can put the aero discs on and you get a totally different face of it. And for photos and stuff like that, it looks really cool. And then you can just print another one, job done, 3D print in a couple of hours.
I think what people are enjoying here is the fact that you can customize them. And they're not expensive, even if you can't make them.
No.
You can then quickly change them out for whatever style of wheel without having to buy a whole wheel.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
plus, if they're on a race car, they've got a little bit of function with them as well.
Yeah, they throw the air out of the wheel and they suck the heat out, right?
I can't remember exactly whether it's draw air in to cool your brakes or pull heat out. It's one or the other.
I assume it'd be pull.
Both. I don't know.
Magic.
All of the above. Witchcraft and wizardry. Harry Potters. That's what we'll call them from now on. Alright, that was a bad joke. I apologise.
That I laughed. That was a sympathy laugh. That wasn't even funny.
Anyway, moving on.
Yeah, moving on from... I don't know. I'm not even a dad yet. I can't even claim that. I think the general trend is towards people doing interesting stuff again.
Yeah, I'm both. I think I got this group from Bryn actually. It's called DIY Miata, I think, on Facebook, and it's full of people making custom stuff for MX-5s. There's loads of 3D printing going on. There's load of 3D scanning going on, so that they can make stuff. And my favorite part about a lot of this stuff is everybody makes it open source. So they'll go, oh yeah, I've designed this, I've 3D printed this thing. Here's the file, go make your own.
That's quite cool.
And that's one of my favorite things about DIY or custom, and this is why I can do the thing I can with these addressable LEDs, is because all of this stuff is open source.
All right, you raging communist. He's not denying it. He's gonna get the red flag out in a minute and start singing something. I don't know.
I'm just trying to work out what part of open source is communist.
Sharing all the things with all the people and not making people pay for it. It's definitely not capitalist.
Well, it depends. So, what I'm doing with the addressable LEDs, I don't think there's a practical way of selling, because you would have to make it specific for every single individual car.
Let us know in the comments if you'd take those lights with a pigtail, and if you would, we'll start selling them from out on the website.
For £1 million.
For £299.
That's the thing though. If I made it as a flying lead kit, I could probably sell it.
Yeah. And that's
So
I mean, there's elements of this kit that I've got that are flying, that are pigtailed. You know.
It depends. It depends what you get. It's one of those. It depends, because the masses generally want plug and play.
Or like, here, take add a power wire, add a ground. That's all you.
Yeah, give it
For-
power and then you're away.
For what BAM is doing, that's fine.
That's
For what
pretty
you're
much
doing
gonna do.
isn't. You won't need to do. But Matt, I've had an idea for yours, but we'll talk later.
Yeah, we can...
I actually have worked out how you do that with a pigtail in my head during the course of this session.
It would depend what pigtails you've got, but we can talk about it.
BAM has cute little pigtails with fluffy bows.
You have Hello Kitty bows.
No, he doesn't.
No.
No, he doesn't. I've got it.
No, that's a purse. He has bows.
And did he have bows? Did I miss his bows to match this?
Yeah.
You missed the Hello Kitty room.
Next month we'll go down to Milton's again and we'll see what other Hello Kitty crap we can nick to put in a competition. This is going to become a whole thing, isn't it? There's going to be a video somewhere on the internet of me burglarizing Milton's house at some point.
I want to see your accountant going through your bank. Why are you buying so much Hello Kitty stuff?
I'm not buying
What
it. I'm stealing it from your house.
So steering back to the topic, coming soon is neons for Milton's trailer.
Yeah.
I think that'd be cool. Just load ones you can have on top of the bed, loading lights. Then one's underneath, just a warm bathe of. Even if you only for when you're arriving at shows or leaving shows.
Yeah, you'd have to have a switch in the car. But
yeah, I was going to say that this is the thing. So if we get a little bit serious for a little bit, by the letter of the law, there is no law that says you can't have a light underneath your car.
As long as the light source isn't visible. And really importantly for me, for my lovely pink and blue, is not a flashing blue light.
Yeah. But you could still get an upset policeman pull you over. So when I did my research over a decade ago, it was everyone said that it's a bit of a grey area. They could probably pull you over. Just be nice about it and make sure you install a switch so that when they don't like it, you can turn it off.
Yeah, I think the other thing is, I think these days they'll probably section 59 you.
Depends on how pain of a bum you're being. If you're just like, I'll turn them off, I forgot to put them on. We was chatting to some mates. Sorry about that.
Yeah, that's the thing. If you're immediately hostile with you and standoffish with them, they'll just give you a ticket.
Yeah.
They won't even question it. You'll get a fine.
Yeah, you've got to pass the attitude test whenever you're interacting with the police.
Regardless of what you think, just suck it up and be nice. You can bitch on the internet afterwards.
This is the other thing, and we've had this conversation before. The only way we're going to change opinions on modified car owners is by being that person. You've got to be nice to everybody.
Exactly that. You know, you've got to work through these things and make sure that you're looking after yourself. You're interacting with the police in an appropriate way. Particularly if you've got a 150 decibel sound system, because they'll definitely do you for a noise complaint. Or if you've got underglow, don't let it flash blue. Is my advice, or red or green for that matter, because they're emergency
purple.
This is why you put a switch on it.
Yeah,
Purple's
alright.
Sorry,
Purple's not
an
emergency services colour.
Isn't it Bomb Squad?
Green.
Green's Doctor.
Blood, isn't it?
Green's Doctors. I thought the bomb
blood
squad.
or doctor.
I thought the bomb squad was blue and red like the police.
Yeah, I thought they were as well.
Don't have it flashing, simples.
Yeah.
Yeah, leave it on
Don't
static.
have flashing.
Also, don't have it blue, or for that matter, just to be on the safe side.
I mean,
Bam.
to be perfectly safe, don't have it turned on the road.
Yeah, that one. Off-road use only.
Yeah,
Bam.
exactly.
What? Yes, Formula G next weekend after next.
The end of the month.
21st, 22nd?
Something like that.
Next one.
22nd, 23rd.
Yeah.
Okay. It's Mod Nats 21st, 22nd, 23rd. That's why I'm not at Formula G.
Become Formula G Donington. Tickets still available.
Or
I'm going to be at that round.
Or if you're at Mod Nats, come and say hello to me.
Yeah. Matt, have you done 2,000 miles yet?
No, I'm at 814.
Oh my god, you suck. I do more than that.
I'm doing more. I'm just going to call Herdy out on this because he rebuilt his engine a year ago, pretty much around this time. And he's done about 250.
That's because right, he's still working on the actual car. I've
Yeah,
just
to be
helped.
fair,
I have just helped him order some parts today. So
yeah, he spent ages not doing anything with it. Well, he was busy, and then he had Christmas, and then he bought a load of parts for it, so it's been off the road for a little while.
No.
Again.
And then he's got a wedding.
Yeah, weddings are
adult things.
Boring adult stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, they suck.
But I mean, they don't suck. Weddings are fun. But yeah, I think all in all, neons are cool. I'm glad they're coming back.
Neon's cool.
Neon's cool.
Strictly speaking, it's underglow because they're not neons anymore.
Yeah,
But
true.
People will call them neons.
It's neons.
I want to see split bonnets again from Neither Speed.
Yeah, do you know what I
Ones
want to
that
see?
sort of open like that, or
Does
What
anyone
I really
perspex
want is this perspex bonnet, especially for me who's got an engine swap. I want a perspex bonnet because that's the bit that I want to show off.
Yeah.
don't the reason why they don't work is because when it gets hot, it all goes brown and like
That
melt.
and you'd have to either have a really, really thick piece or leave the bracing underneath and have it as a skin, and then it just looks awful.
Because when it breaks, it makes little daggers. It's not like metal that bends or car glass that forms little balls. You're killing the guy that you just hit with it.
That sounds like a them problem.
Carry off the car and swap in when you get to a show.
That sounds like a them problem, though.
You'd also probably have to bonnet pin it on all four corners as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I don't think you'd be able to put studs in it to bolt it to the hinges, and
I
then
think
have the hook on the front.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Yeah, so I think the thing about perspex bonnets is a valid point. They were cool. I just don't think there's
a practical way of doing it that you could put it on the car and leave it every day.
Yeah.
What if you was to use
something that was the same shape and just swap it in when you got to a show?
Could you not use like clear tubing, looks like acrylic tube, as the as bracing to sort of give?
It's one of those things that there is a way of doing it. It's just going to be ludicrously expensive, and somebody probably will do it on a full show car where they've spent $100,000 plus.
Yeah.
Is perspex that expensive?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, because I've been looking into making, the little wind deflectors you can get for your wing mirrors on Alibaba and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I've been looking into making them out of acrylic, because what you can do then is you can sell them and you can heat them so that you basically bend them into the shape of your mirror. They're basically universal at that point. That's a product coming as soon as I've got the laser cutter, really.
Yeah, we circle back to having something thick enough that it doesn't flex. It's very expensive because you're getting on to like bulletproof thicknesses.
Yeah,
that's not cheap.
Yeah, that size bonnet I can imagine you are actually.
And it'll be heavy.
I think the old
What do they use? What do they use for windscreens in like race cars? They've got windscreens and they've got whether
really thin Lexan.
Yeah.
Could you not use Lexan?
No, because it'll flap about.
What if you used to put like a metal board around the edge?
If you were to do it on a race car, you'd probably find a way of doing it.
Mm.
Because if you watch on boards from proper race cars, you'll see as they get to speed, the windscreen just bows inwards.
Yeah.
And on a bonnet, it will just flap about in front of you the whole time. And because it's depending on whether you buy Lexan or Perspex, and Lexan will be more expensive, Perspex will just shatter.
Yeah.
I think we can figure it out.
It's doable, but it'll be expensive.
Drift cars don't go that fast.
Sounds like my domain, boys. Let's find out.
What do you think of the door? I've seen a couple people doing it now, doors, but with a skin of Perspex instead of the metal.
I really like it, particularly on drift cars where you can see in and see the driver's feet.
Yeah, I know.
Shout out, Alfie.
Alfie did it. Josh did it from Drift Games.
There was someone else in the end because I think his leaked.
No, he's still got him.
Did okay. I thought he'd taken it off. I'm sure he
just fixed it.
Shout out McLaren for doing it on Senna first.
Yeah. Shout out those hypercars for inspiring people to modify their cars again.
Because
But I think
McLaren's definitely
the
watching.
difference was McLaren did a really small window like this, whereas everybody else is doing full door skins.
I think the interesting thing there, Milton's just said actually, because someone from McLaren is definitely watching. What you've got to remember is we actually have some fairly significant people in the car community that have been watching us from day one. You know.
You also forget what car Bryn's been working on recently.
Yeah. What, the Lexus?
No,
I don't know whether to tell people about.
No,
that.
actually, to be fair, if you're friends with Bryn on socials, you'll have seen it.
Oh, okay.
I don't know how publicly he's making that, so I don't want to say. So
yeah,
but I'll remind you.
There's lots of cool stuff been going on. I think like one of my favourite things from the Max Power era was definitely spinners. Spinners were great.
I've never seen them in the wild.
Never seen them in the wild. I have.
I think I've seen the Bentley spinners, but that's just the badge.
They were still around when we were buying like Need for Speed Underground. I think they were. That reminds me, one of the things that I used to like from Need for Speed Underground that I've only ever seen recently on drift cars is NOS purging.
Oh, NOS purging was a whole thing.
Yeah,
I've seen it in dragsters.
Yeah, I've seen dragsters.
I've never seen coloured. I've never seen it smoked.
I think Martin Wanacott had it.
You achieved.
But he ran NOS on every single one of his cars. This is the difference. We've seen it on race cars and they do it on drift cars, but you rarely see the purge like out the bonnet like you used to do it in Need for Speed. And Need for Speed did it as a show thing rather than I need to do this.
I have seen it on show cars. Interestingly, the colour that you see melts is actually done by fitting LED strips near the purge hole and shooting them up.
I bet it wasn't originally, although I don't know whether that was actually realistic.
That wasn't realistic. I think actually by then we had LEDs, because if you noticed, it was RGB.
I only ever saw it on.
It was only red. It was only red, green, or blue on Need for Speed as well.
Okay.
No, you could get when you got to level 3, you could get teal, mint, gold, purple.
Oh yeah. But the theory, from what I remember at the time, was shine an LED through the water droplets
through the smoke. Yeah.
Through the.
Well, red and blue makes purple.
A purge is actually nitrous oxide droplets rather than smoke that evaporate very quickly. So that's why the LED stuff works. There you go. Cool. Science. No brainer and science. Science with BAM. I'm gonna get a lab coat now. I'm the engineer now, boys.
You'd put the lab coat on backwards.
I fucking would.
You can put it, if I ever fit NOS to any of my cars, I'll put a button in to purge it.
Excellent news. If I ever put NOS in any of my cars, I'm going to hide it so no one knows it's there, and I'm going to win everything.
What I am going to end up doing at that point is using more of it to the atmosphere than actually in the engine.
It's really expensive to refill tanks these days as well. So yes, NOS purging was cool. What else? Spinners, yeah. Spinners, neons,
big body kits, sound systems.
You don't see many big wings these days.
Interiors matched to the exterior colour of the car.
Yeah.
Full-blown sex spec.
I'm not a big fan of that now, and I wasn't then.
Quite liked it. I do it more subtly now.
Some of them were done well, but that was the other thing you used to get. You'd get somebody had a blue car and they'd have a bright blue and yellow interior. Yeah. Really loud colours.
I miss Millennial Grey, aka Nardo Grey.
Yeah, that was a thing for a very long time.
Well, an MX-5 painted Nardo Grey with everything. A GV lip and rotor grid wheels, yeah?
Well, that circles back to what we were saying, where we had a period of time where every car was the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very much so. Very much so. So, So if you missed the Max Power era, let us know in the comments.
What have we not talked about?
What have we missed?
Yeah, what have we missed? Let us know down in the comments. We're on Thread now, apparently. I've done like 2 posts. So
it depends. They might get shut down when Elon sues them.
It's actually more like, interestingly, it's more like Facebook from back in the day than Twitter to me. So we're on Thread now, and we're using that to ask questions of the car community rather than all the stuff that goes on all the other things. Because I was like, what's the point in having the social media channel where we just do the exact same thing again? So YouTube is for podcast and video content. You've got TikTok for unboxing, new product releases, show video content, and live videos from shows, and live me packing stuff because I'm getting lonely videos as well. So you can come and hang out with me while I pack stuff and see what people have been ordering. Instagram is photos and product release videos, those kind of things. Facebook is just a mix of all of the above. Because it's where we first started doing stuff. But if you like what we do, smash the subscribe button. We're not really going to try and monetize the YouTube channel that much. We're probably not.
We swear too much anyway.
Yeah, there's that. Fuckity fuck.
We haven't sworn yet.
Until he reminded me, and then I've just made up for it.
You're such a
dick.
dick.
The fact of the matter is we don't actively try not to swear, so odds are we can't monetize anyway. So.
Yeah, and actually, you know, there's a lot of interesting stuff going on in the car community at the moment. We're gonna in the next 2 or 3 years, we're gonna start seeing the first kind of uprated power and things out of electric cars. It might already been going on for all I know. It's not mainstream yet, but I think we're going to start seeing electric cars at shows. So we just want to chart and document that. We've got the clothing brand that supports us reasonably well, actually. We'd also give a big shout out to the race series that we sponsor, Formula G. But just a big thanks to everybody who's been supporting the brand, particularly throughout the pandemic. That was really cool. Those of you who stood by us and got your free toilet roll. I still remember a guy who ordered 40 stickers and just said, I can't buy a toilet roll anywhere. So we shipped him. We actually sent him a roll in a box with his stickers.
Nice.
So, yeah, these days we're still releasing new stuff. We're back, new products, all that kind of stuff after I had to take you out from a mental health. I have to apologise for the boxes and stuff. You can just see them kind of just off in the corner and behind me. What's going on is I'm moving back into the old studio that we started this podcast in, which I'm really, really excited about. So over the next few weeks, you'll see me starting to appear in different rooms.
As long as it's not my house, I'll be fine.
And potentially...
No, he doesn't...
I can't promise that, Milton. I can't promise that.
I've just had an idea. We'll talk about it afterwards.
Yeah. All right, then, everyone. Thanks a lot for watching. We really appreciate it. Catch you later. Have a good one. Bye-bye.
Bye.